for. Now, cell is of different types. Basically, it is categorized into two categories, that is prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell. Nucleus is absent in bacteria and cyanobacteria. There is no nuclear envelope. Genetic material is equal to single chromosome. It is called as nucleoid. Organisms which lack nucleus and instead possesses nucleoid are called as prokaryotes. Organisms having well-defined nucleus are called as eukaryotes. Prokaryotes they also lack membrane-bound cell organelles. The function of these cell organelles are performed by poorly organized parts of the cytoplasm. Now, the protoplasm consists of the living structures called as cell organelles. There are many cell organelles found in the eukaryotic cells. The eukaryotic cells consist of, in eukaryotic cells, many of the metabolic processes of the cell are reported and occur within the discrete membrane-bound, well-organized protoplasmic structures called as cell organelles. For example, there are many cell organelles found in the cell. They may be ribosomes, mitochondria, Golgi apparatus, endoplasmic reticulum. It may be smooth or it may be rough, peroxisomes, centrioles, etc. As in this diagram, you can very well see many different cell organelles showing the eukaryotic cell. The first and most important cell organelle is chloroplast. Most common chloroplast consists of plastids. Now, most common plastids with the greatest biological importance, which takes part in photosynthesis to produce life-giving gas oxygen and most of the energy used on our planet by living beings. Blue-green algae lack chloroplast and have loosely arranged membrane in the cytoplasm. These membranes are in the form of sacs of thylakoid of typical unit membrane structure called as lamella. These are the thylakoids, as you can very well see. In photosynthetic bacteria, for example, purple sulfur bacteria, vacuole-like chromatophore containing pigments are present. Now, regarding the structure of the chloroplast, the outer covering, this one is the outer covering. The outer covering of the chloroplast is composed of two unit membranes made up of lipoprotein. Inside the membrane is the proteinaceous ground substance called as a stroma. Stroma is present as a fluid inside the plastid. Stroma contains a variety of particles, lipid droplets, ribosomes, strands of DNA and RNA, dissolved salts and enzymes. Embedded in the stroma are several parallelly running membranes throughout the length of chloroplast called as lamella. Each lamella is made up of a unit membrane. At some intervals, the lamella have 10 to 100 rounded flat sac-like structures stacked one above the other like a pile of coins. And these structures, a single pile of coin, is called as a granum. Or you can say grana. It is composed of many thylakoids. They are kept on each other like a pile of coin. One stack of thylakoid is called as grana. Different grana are connected with the help of some tubular structures. They are called as stroma lamella. These are the tubular structures which connect the different granas together. They are the interconnection between the two granas. Membrane of grana lamella is made up of protein and phospholipids. Park and Biggins were the first who reported the presence of a small photosynthetic unit called as quantasomes, which are present in the chloroplast. Like quantasomes, they are the units of the light. Quantasomes. They are the packets of light which are present inside the chloroplast. As light is absorbed by the plants during the process of photosynthesis. So, which portion of the light is absorbed? The light is absorbed by the plastids, or you can say chloroplast, and the chlorophyll molecule get activated for the process of photosynthesis. Chloroplasts are also like mitochondria in being semi-autonomous. That is, they consist of their own DNA material. They can grow and divide, and their DNA contains a portion of genetic information needed for the synthesis of chloroplast protein. Now, chloroplast is of three types basically. It may be chromoplast, it may be leucoplast, or it may be chloroplast. Chromoplast is basically, it is a colored pigment. It is a colored pigment, and leucoplast it is a colorless pigment. As their structures are varying, their functions also vary. Chromoplasts are characterized by the following features. These are the colored plastids which are found in petals, fruits and roots of certain higher plants. The red color of ripe tomatoes is the result of chromoplast, which contains the red pigment called as lycopene. The chromoplast of capsicum fruits contain cathepsin pigment. Chromoplasts containing phycocyanin and phycoerythrin are found in algae. Now regarding the leucoplast, as it is said that they are the colorless plastids present, they are found in underground plant parts which are not exposed to light. They are also found in embryonic cells, germ cells and the meristematic cells. Myeloplast, ileoplast, or proteinoplast, or we can say aleuroplast. Now these three type of leucoplasts, they have different functions. The myeloplasts are basically meant for storing starch. The second type of leucoplast is called as ileoplast. It is basically meant for storing fats. And as well as the essential oils. The third type of leucoplast, that is aleuroplast, it is meant for storing the proteins only. Store only the proteins. Now looking at this beautiful diagram, you can very well judge that it can be called as, or it is mitochondria. These are really the microscopic cell organelles. It is hollow sac-like cell organelle found in all eukaryotic cells except mature RBCs of mammals and sieve tubes in angiosperms. It was first of all observed by Kolliker in 1857. He called it as sarcosomes. Later these were renamed as bioplasts by Altman and as mitochondria by C. Benda. So ultimately we can say that Benda was the person who has named this cell organelle as mitochondria. Number of mitochondria depends upon the physiology or function of the cells. Number of mitochondria are more in the cells that have higher rate of metabolism. The shape of the mitochondria is variable, but generally these are thread-like, ellipsoidal, spherical or ovoid or rod-shaped structures. Their approximate size varies from 0.2 to 1 micrometer or 0.1 to 0.5 micrometer in girth and from 0.5 to 7 micrometer in length. Mitochondria is covered by a double membrane. As you can very well see, it is a double membrane. This is the outer membrane and this one is the inner membrane. Outer membrane has more phospholipid and inner membrane is mainly composed of diphosphatidylglycerol glycerol. Each membrane is 60 to 75 angstrom thick and separated by a space which is called as perimitochondrial space. The space between these two membranes, as this space is called as a perimitochondrial space, as it is the space between the two membranes of the mitochondria. The outer membrane is smooth and straight. The inner one is infolded into a cavity forming a number of simple or branched plate-like septa or tubular ridges which are called as cristae. As you can very well see, these are the foldings of the inner membrane. These are called as cristae. The part of the inner membrane covering the cristae bears numerous regularly spaced minute club-shaped particles projecting into the mitochondrial cavity. These particles are called as F1 particles, F0, F1 particles, or we can also call them as oxysomes. Each particle has three distinct parts: a base piece embedded in the membrane, a projecting stalk or pedicel, and a knob-like head at the tip of the stalk. The fluid of the mitochondrial cavity is called as mitochondrial matrix. As you can see, this is a matrix. Matrix is what? It is a fluid which is present inside mitochondria. It is very dense and finally granular jelly-like proteinaceous material. The inner membrane has lesser lipids and more proteins and carries all the enzymes of respiratory chain and phosphorylation. Mitochondrial matrix, it especially contains soluble enzymes of the Krebs cycle, one or more circular DNA molecules also, RNA and several small ribosomes. Now regarding the functions of mitochondria, they are basically called as the powerhouse of the cell, or they are also called as storage battery of the cell. Storage battery of the cell. Now why they are called so? As whatever energy is required by the cell to perform all the biochemical reactions, it is produced by mitochondria in the form of ATP, that is adenosine triphosphate. So that is why it is called as powerhouse of the cell, or we can also call it as a storage battery. But for the entire process of energy production, the mitochondria contain more than 100 enzymes, several coenzymes and cofactors, all operating in an orderly and integrated fashion. So ultimately, it is the most important cell organelle which is meant for carrying out all the metabolic processes of the cell, of the tissues or organs, because energy production takes place only in this cell organelle.